I'm out of ideas. Let's just have a normal intro this time.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Right.
UGP episode blarg ever, man.
Insert episode number here.
Yay! Okay, this is either episode 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah.
Possibly 4.5.
It could be
6.
Yeah,
4.56.
5.6, yeah.
There we go.
So,
I am co-host 1.
I'm co-host A.
Mm-hmm. Because real names are for losers.
Yeah.
From now on, my name's just going to be Bladezzz.
Pretty sure mine is going to be XX Sniper XX69.
360 headshot skills.
3X with a Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Today, hey, it's a new day. It's a new day.
It's a new
thing song.
Here comes the sun.
Oh god, no.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it is technically a new day.
Yeah. This is being recorded at 12:52 a.m. on the 3rd of the 29th of 2014.
The 3rd of the 29th, 3/29/2014. That's someone's birthday today.
Is it?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh, you just being statistically.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, oh.
And it actually is someone else's birthday.
All right.
So, anyways,
today is, or whatever, this is a special edition. Where
it's extremely special.
Nothing is special about it, aside from the fact that your ears are not hurting from the screechy Lord of the Rings intro from one of our last serious ones.
Yeah.
Although calling any of our things serious is kind of.
I see where you're coming from, man. So I guess we want to talk about Dishonored, right?
Dishonored, and I'll let you talk about Thief.
Thief, all right.
Yeah, I can represent the old school thiefers.
All right, I haven't beaten Thief yet. So I'm not gonna.
We won't spoil stuff.
Yeah, we won't spoil the ending to either game because.
But first, Dishonored. One of the really interesting intro. Like with the Empress reading.
It does have it's really unique. It's a unique game.
Yeah, that is. Like, from an artistic style and just from a gameplay perspective, it is a very unique game. There are not many like it.
No.
With the exception being Thief. Anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Right?
In Dishonored, I'm going to take over for a lot of stuff here because I'm representing the Dishonored group.
Yeah, I'll chime in a little bit.
Okay.
Go for it, man.
In Dishonored, you start out as Corvo, the master bodyguard of Empress... What's her name? Jasmine? No. Empress.
Yeah.
Empress, insert name here. And I'm guessing that there was something going on between you two just from the way she was like acting and some of the messages.
It looked like y'all two had chemistry.
Yeah. You and the Empress had something going on, and she had an adorable daughter who just wanted to play hide and seek with you. Which was actually, I think, a really interesting way to. It was a unique way to put in the tutorial to the game.
It was pretty unique, and it was optional too.
Yeah, and it was optional. You could be like, yeah, sure, I'll play games with the little kid, or you can be like, screw you, kid, go do something. Not really. He's a silent protagonist, which gets him into so much trouble. Which is coming up shortly, and oh my god. So you meet the Empress, and there's a plague going on in your city. And you're just kind of like, I'm sorry, my queen and possibly romantic counterpart, but no one else anywhere has encountered this problem before, so we're kind of screwed. And then the Empress is like, oh my god, no, well, at least you're back, Corvo. And then a bunch of assassins come out of nowhere, pin you to a wall, and you have to watch them kill her.
Yeah. Which, it was actually fairly depressing. I mean, the Empress is only in there for like a minute. Yeah. But she was cool, so you felt attached to her.
Yeah, like immediately. And then if you read some of the stories or just listen to people talk about her later on, you're just like, ah.
Right.
And so Empress dies, and then immediately you get blamed for something you didn't do.
Silent protagonist.
Yeah.
The whole game.
The whole game.
Could have been avoided if he wasn't... If he would just said, hey guys, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Just boom.
Although those two people really did have it out for you, so...
They really did, so...
You could have caused dissension amongst the ranks if you just said, I didn't do this.
Yeah, there would have been a chance that you wouldn't have had to play the game if you'd just said, hey man.
But I'm glad that he didn't say that, because you get to play the game, and it is an amazing game. After you get blamed for the murder of the Empress, you get thrown in Cold Bridge Prison. Cold Ridge or Cold Bridge?
I think it's Cold Bridge.
Cold Bridge Prison. And then you break out thanks to the help of some very giving people.
Just wonderful
people. And that sets you on your bloody path of revenge.
Or not bloody at all.
The cool thing about the game is that there are multiple endings, and it all depends on literally how you play the game.
Yeah, it's actually completely possible to beat the game without killing a single person.
Yeah, I've done it.
I did too.
That is in my top 10 achievement list.
Yeah, that is a trophy list.
Yeah, trophies. But one of the things I will say is, like, lots of games like Deus Ex and Mass Effect, it's like, you can change the course of the game over the thing, but literally at that point it's like, okay, what ending do you want, A, B, or C? In this game, it's literally, do you play like a bloody murderer and just slaughter everyone? Do you play like a guardian angel and never kill anyone? Or do you just kind of take the middle road and kill some people?
Yeah, which is actually usually what I did usually I was like he's in my way, so I'll kill him, but I'm not going to go out of my way to be a dick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I only did that to get the chaos ending.
Yeah, it's true. You got to get all three.
Yeah. 4 endings, actually.
What's the fourth one?
Cut the yawn out. Cut.
Maybe. What's the
multiple endings of the game?
Right. Still gotta get one. Gotta buy the game again. Goddamn. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just once you beat the game without killing anyone, you kind of seen all there is to see.
Yeah. They do make you replay that game for the achievements if you're interested in that.
Trophies.
But nowhere near as bad as Mass Effect 1. All that game is use this ability 75 times. Use this ability 75 times. Play the majority of the game with this character. Play the majority of the game with this character. This is Mass Effect, not Dishonored. Dishonored is amazing.
Yeah, not that Mass Effect isn't.
Not that Mass Effect isn't.
It's just, he's speaking from an achievement hunter's.
I'm a whore for achievements.
Trophies. Yeah, we're really pushing those, aren't we, Sony? Just saying.
Okay. Well, so the gameplay for Dishonored is sort of stealth killing,
One of my friend Steven said he actually built Corvo in a tank fashion.
What?
I was like, will you please show me how you did this? And I actually haven't gotten to see it yet, but apparently he just does not give a crap about stealth and just like walks out in the open and just like starts shooting them indiscriminately.
How do you build a tank for that game?
It's literally it's like advertised as a stealth RPG, I think.
Yeah, like most of the game. If you like stealth games, you will love this game.
If you like really any kind of game, unless you're one of those douches.
Medieval games, like medieval.
It's steampunk, which is so cool. That's
not sarcasm. It is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, you've got crossbows and then distortion fields that disintegrate things.
Yeah, steampunk is something that needs to be used in more, not all games, because then it become like gimpy and mainstream, but I do think they should make a couple more games with it.
The thing with steampunk is that there needs to stop being all the really horrible steampunk comics and memes and stuff, and there needs to start being a couple really good steampunk movies and some more steampunk games.
Yeah, what'd be really nice? Dishonored 2.
That was actually announced.
Was it really?
Yeah. Like you know how there's like Dowd and Corvo and then other people who have the mark of the outsider.
Yeah.
They're saying that the second game is probably going to take place from a different character with that mark, though.
Maybe he's gonna like find Corvo and be like, dude,
that'd be pretty freaky.
dude, I would love to see. Maybe you get to see Corvo's face.
Yeah, well, you sort of see it. Well,
No, you don't.
no,
Not once.
okay. Stealth gameplay. You have a super awesome knife. You have all sorts of gadgets and gizmos to help you along the way. And then finally, you have the best thing ever for a stealth game, magic.
I was gonna say the mask.
Well, the mask is also pretty cool. But magic!
Magic, yes, of course.
Blink is amazing. Like, you could get the game through just using Blink.
There's actually an achievement for only using Blink.
I got that.
Yeah.
On my no-kill playthrough. That was very difficult.
At the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, see, dude, I just like... Actually, I didn't get too much. It was more of just a, this is gonna take a while type thing.
Oh,
is this still going? Alright.
Alright.
It's probably gonna sound really edited. What were we? Blink is good.
Blink is amazing.
Especially if you upgrade it all the way and you can just propel yourself across the map.
Yes, and you can do it super quickly and it takes up like no mana. You can just...
Oh yeah. Blink, like, assassinations are so amazing. Like, using Blink and then immediately pushing the right trigger or R1 and immediately killing someone. So satisfying.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense game. Not for the faint of heart.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff to explore too, in case you're into that stuff.
Yeah.
Which I am.
Oh, of course I am too. They do, and there's also side quests, which I hardly found any in my first playthrough, and in second playthrough it was all about, doing whatever. So it's like, oh, all right, well, oh, cool. There's like a whole mini quest line with what was his name? Jaw dude.
Yeah, Slackjaw.
Slackjaw. God,
Yeah, Slackjaw.
Hate the name. Kind of a good character, I guess.
And those old grainy rags.
Oh.
All right.
We don't talk.
We don't go to Ravenhole.
No.
So
Yeah,
good game, lots of cool mechanics.
Yeah, definitely I'm pretty sure it's on my top 10.
Yeah. And now I will let you talk about Thief for a little bit.
Alright, so Thief is, we're doing both these in the same podcast because they're pretty similar games. Have you played, how much of Thief have you played?
I have played the original Thief 1, and then I've played, the first level of the new Reboot Thief.
Okay, so Reboot Thief, so good by the way. Basically, it's, the way I describe it to people who haven't played it, but have played Dishonored, is essentially Dishonored without magic, but replace it with a bow. So basically, your bow is kind of your utility there. And the plotline is, without getting into too much spoilers, you're a thief named Garrett. Pretty sure it's last name unknown. It really helps with keeping your character a secretive thief. And, you and your, they really confuse you on this. Like, at first you think it's your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, and then later she says something that might hint that you're brother and sister, but then that's like immediately I'm still figuring it out, but anyways, and so you're on like a just another job, right? And she shows up and she's like, what's his name? I thought you need my help, yada yada yada. Stuff goes down, your guy gets knocked out for a year essentially. You wake up, city's chaotic pretty much. Guards are just indiscriminately hanging people for literally no reason. So the reason I say it's Dishonored without magic is because magic pretty much gets you out of every situation in Dishonored or into. And in Thief it's like you got your bow, which has such a variety of arrows. There's broadhead arrows, which is I actually found them to be hilarious, only in the manner that in the first level your guy's like, I don't kill unless I absolutely have to. This next level, I bought 5 broadhead arrows and instantly killed people. Like, indiscriminately. Like, guy looked at me wrong, I was just like, done.
So there is more free roam in the game?
It's free roam. It's got cool... I have, like, 24 side quests I can just grab from one dude.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. Free roam is definitely... You can go to any part of the city whenever you feel like.
Okay, that's amazing. I should definitely pick this up at some time.
Yeah, and the different kinds of arrows are crazy. Like, there's obviously the broadhead arrow. The first arrow you experiment with is a water arrow, which I still don't really have any idea how it works, but it's cool as hell.
Pouch of water on the end of an arrow.
That's what I thought it was, but it looks a little different. It doesn't look the part.
Okay.
Anyways, to say there's a torch on a wall, and it's lit, and there's a guard in the vicinity, and you don't really want to start an altercation here, since your melee weapon is essentially a police baton. So you shoot the torch with the water arrow, and it will douse the torch's flame. You can pretty much infer.
Yeah.
You got your broadhead arrows, which is essentially a normal arrow that kills people, and then I'm pretty sure it's called the shark tooth arrow, something with an S.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the broadhead arrow on crack. It'll go through go through people, and then you got your choke arrow, which is like you shoot someone and it pops out some gas and suffocates them. It's very weird. Sometimes it works on people if they're like unaware, but if they're minorly aware, they'll pretty much just run away. Mainly used for dogs and caged birds, because when you're walking by, they'll bark or flap.
I heard the AI in that game is really good.
AI is really good. So then you got your rope arrows, which, oh no, I need to access this tall building. Rope. Flame arrows, pretty self-explanatory. Explosive arrow, blast arrows is their technical name. Pretty self-explanatory. Pretty sure we've covered everything. You can also get flash bombs, pretty self-explanatory. If you haven't played a game before, you probably shouldn't start with Thief. It'd be a little difficult.
Would you recommend going for a combat playthrough in that game? Is that hard or easy to do?
It's pretty much as hard as it is Dishonored, but I've found a way. In second playthrough, I'm going to try and do a combat playthrough, because you can get upgrades for they call it a blackjack, which is your little mini baton thing.
Yeah. And
you can get one to where like the final upgrade says like ungodly increases the amount of damage or something like that. And then you can upgrade your armor and stuff like that. So what I was going to do for second playthrough is just load up on just the chaotic beat people up arrows and weaponry. Well, you only get one. And so basically, you just stealth around. Most of the beginning of the game is pretty much just, people give you thief jobs. You go and thieve. You steal things. You get money. And then eventually, you're like, all right, well, I should probably find out what happened to my sister, lover, whatever it is.
Chick.
To insert, whatever title here. Just some girl. You like her. You got a
fellow thief.
Fellow thief.
Female thief.
Who is horrible at her job. She's like loud. Like, ready.
Yeah.
Like, she's kind of one of those thieves that's just like, I'm just going to run and pick up my thing I need to take and then run away. And then Garrett's like, what are you doing? Like, the whole first mission, he's like, are you kidding me? Like, I could have... no, you're doing everything wrong. And she's like, oh God, Garrett, you're so Garrett. And he's like, well, you're so... I forgot her name. Even though I says it like every other level. So anyways, plotline eventually evolves into where you gotta obviously find out what happened. Once you find out what happened, stuff goes down. Don't want to spoil too much, and you gotta obviously there's gonna be something that happens that you're gonna have to fix, because that's pretty much the plotline to every game.
Well, yeah, or conflict and resolution.
Or not resolution, and we do a part 2, which I'm just hoping to make a part 2 soon, because that game is so good. And it randomly, so if you've played Assassin's Creed or know how Assassin's Creed works, there's a lot of third-person parkour. And one thing I found amazing about Thief is just the parkour and everything, gravity, every mechanic in that aspect is amazing, and most of it's in first person. But say you need to mantle up like a building, it switches. You run in first person, you jump, you climb the first thing in first person, and it zooms out to third person, and it's a lot like Assassin's Creed. In some ways I like it better, in some ways it's lacking, but mainly just because Assassin's Creed is literally designed to be one of those games, and Thief wasn't completely built around the third person aspect. But it's really good. Such a good game. I'd recommend it to pretty much anybody, unless you're terrible at video games, for a number of reasons.
And if that's the case, you should get Pikmin.
I don't know if I could recommend that game to anyone with a clear conscience.
I would not. No.
Have you ever played that?
Yeah.
Mistake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dishonored, better combat?
Well, you have a sword.
Yeah, you do have and pistol.
A pistol, sword, and like one-handed crossbow. And Thief is more not based around combat. Like, I mean, I guess if you increased your little things back. So, basically, altercation one-on-one combat, I'd probably say Dishonored, just because even, like, put yourself in someone's shoes. Would you rather have, like, if I'm about to fight, like, co-host one over here, am I gonna rather have, like, a mini little...
Mad bro?
Yeah, a mini stick, or a sword, a gun, a crossbow, and magic? Pretty sure I'd rather have the baton and bow, of course. No. But,
magic and a sword, please.
Yeah, I'd rather just
I will go battle mage DPS on you, boy.
Yeah, I'd rather just freeze time and stab you. You can't compare.
That is a really cool mechanic where like everything stays frozen and then you just like
you can
unpause and like blood just goes like.
You can like freeze time and Dishonored and pick up bullets out of midair.
Yeah,
and
that
put
is
them in
so
your gun.
much fun. Yeah. And then fire them back at the person.
So better combat, like one-on-one combat. I definitely say Dishonored, just because, you know, it's meant to be one of those games where if you're in a confrontation, you're supposed to take care of yourself. Stealth-wise, though, I think I'd give it to Thief, mainly because the game is meant to be all stealth. Yeah. Like Dishonored, you're like, all right, you're the royal guard type dude, like bodyguard.
Yeah.
So obviously Corvo's like, all right, you know, stuff gets, when push comes to shove, I could kill everyone in this room.
Yeah.
And Garrett's kind of like, well, I could, but it'd take a lot of work. I'd prefer not to do that. I have like I don't even know what to call it, like a cudgel, like a gimpy bat.
Like a billy club.
A billy club.
He has a billy club.
He's got a billy club. But cool thing about Garrett in the game is there is a magical aspect to the game.
Oh, good.
Yeah, like, and you can like push a triangle or Y for you, and he acts like either he blinks or if you have like stored vision stuff used by eating poppies. Figure that out. It's like everything goes like a grayish color, and then objects of interest. That's all in quotes. It are highlighted in blue, which is very helpful, especially when you're like running from like 40 people and you're like, oh, we gotta get out of here, and then you turn on the vision and there's like an easy path lit in blue, and you're like, all right, I got this.
Now this sounds similar to something that you can do in Dishonored. Some people who have played Dishonored and really like Dishonored and have not played Thief may say, hey, it just sounds like Thief is copying Dishonored, except less fighting. And because we are a bloodthirsty generation, that's bad.
So I'm assuming you're asking me to retort this?
And then I can also help to retort that.
Alright, so basically, if all you want is blood and guts, then you probably should have just bought Gears of War in the first place. But if you want only blood and guts, it's probably the game to go for.
Yeah, there's not many games where you can chainsaw people. Bulletstorm. Okay. Gears of War and Bulletstorm, if you want blood.
Actually, yeah, well, that might be another episode. Bulletstorm. So good game.
Leash. Okay.
Anyways, so the way I would retort that is saying, wrong. Some aspects are similar, but in this day and age, it's very hard not to come up with, like, obviously, somehow you're going to be, quote-unquote, copying a game. Like, in a way, do you know what I mean? It's
such as the Hornets in Avatar.
Yeah, there was a lawsuit involved, I believe.
Really?
Between Bungie and Avatar over the fact that the Scorpions in Avatar and the Hornets from the Halo series are the exact same thing, except for one.
No, I think it was Falcons, actually. Falcon and Scorpions. Moving on.
Anyway, so the way I'd confront that is be like, well, look, it's a game for a certain audience. If you don't like the way the game sounds, you're wrong. Just play it. But it's like they're not copying it. If it sounds like less fun because there's less direct one-on-one combat, you're wrong, because there is nothing more satisfying than singling out a target and either just putting an arrow through his head, which they have really realistic bow mechanics, like your dude takes a realistic amount of time to pull a bow back. Like, he's not like...
Oh my god, thank you. I'm so happy to hear that.
And you know what else is really, really... I figured it out 2 days ago, accidentally, because you know how in some games...
There's just that mechanic that you forget how to do.
You can just hold the bow back forever.
Yeah.
In Thief, what it does is, you pull all the way back, and then, of course, the aiming reticle gets really tiny, and it's like a pinpoint shot. And if you hold it for, like, more than 2 seconds all the way back, the aiming reticle gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually, he'll either, like just be like, oh my god, like, really, player? You made me hold it back long enough for me to get tired.
Yeah.
So that part I was like, really, that's really cool. I'm glad they incorporated that. So it's a different kind of game, because there's nothing more satisfying than just singling out a guy, going up behind him, like turning his head around and just hitting him in the nose and knocking him out, and then just dragging him off into a corner. Yeah. And then also in Dishonored, just singling someone out, cutting their like head off or something, looking into their eyes. No, I'm not that bad. Anyways, so how would you help defend that?
I will help defend this by saying the Thief series, the Thief that you know and love, is a reboot of a trilogy of games that came out way back when computer gaming was first starting.
That's also true.
And they invented the stealth genre back then. And the old Thief was so strict in its whole, this is a stealth game thing, that they would actually penalize you for even being seen. They kind of got away from this in the second and third one, and the third one more so. But I'm glad to hear that they're keeping that magical element around in Thief, because in the first one, there's a significant portion of the game where you just like go through a portal to an alternate dimension, and you have to fight some really tough dudes, or not fight but avoid. And there is a sort of boss battle at the end of the first Thief, but overall, if you can stand the horrible look of old computer games, the older Thieves are pretty nice.
Yeah, the magicalness is really kept. Like, whatever the female is in relation to Garrett is pretty much in like a spirit type realm, at least where I'm at in the game right now. And she's like talking to you, so it's really cool. It's like, they really, when they set the stage, they really make it feel like they immerse you in the world. That's
always good to hear. That is always good to hear.
It's never good to feel like you're playing a game and you just feel like you're playing the game. Like, you want to feel like, I am Garrett. I am sneaking. I am Corvo.
For serious games, yes, of course.
Yes.
There are some games like Borderlands where it's alright.
Borderlands, you definitely, I mean...
it's alright.
It's not even meant to be taken seriously, really.
No, it's like, there's literally dialogue in the game that calls out the fact that it's in a game.
Do you know what game did that really well? It's in quotes.
Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Such a repetitive game. But, I mean, if you're a fan of Deadpool like myself, that game is a masterpiece.
Yeah. I will admit, your girlfriend in that game is pretty sweet.
That game's so good. Oh, Death? Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, we kind of just went on like a rant there.
Tangent, not rant, just tangent. Ranting would be like, Garrett is better Corvo, blah, 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 blah.
Magic, bows, crossbow.
If Garrett and Corvo were to get... If Garrett and Corvo were to get in a fight, I would say that you are wrong. They would never get in a fight. They would just get together and steal some stuff.
Either that, or they would just never see each other.
Yep.
Like you put them both in a room that's dimly lit, they're just never going to get in a fight ever.
If you put Sam Fisher in a room with Corvo and Garrett with lots of pipes and minimal lighting, who comes out on top?
Ooh, that's close.
Excluding magic.
Excluding magic?
Like, no magic abilities, because then obviously Corvo.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like to think that either... I don't know, that'd probably be a tie, because, Sam Fisher is a Navy SEAL.
But he is old now.
Yeah, so...
And he has serious back pains from the 30 or so years of constant crouching.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his shins are about to poke through his knees any day now. Yeah, that is the one thing for stealth games that I always feel like
those people must be really short because they're able to duck behind stuff like that.
Dude, would you crouch in actually pretty much all three of the games we just referenced?
Yeah.
You crouch, man.
Yeah. Like in Conviction, Splinter Cell Conviction, whenever you're crouched and you're like walking along, your knees are going above your head.
Dude,
every
like
step
literally.
you're taking.
Yeah, when you like crouch low and like Dishonored and Thief, like you're some first person, you gotta imagine this guy's like crouching, dude.
Yeah.
Like if someone found him, it'd be like his head and knees are level.
Yes.
So above all, both really good games. If you like one, you'll like the other. There's no disputing that.
Would you recommend one over the other?
Depends. If like you're looking for a serious stealth game, like Thief even more emphasizes stealth. Like if you want, I'm gonna be as stealthy as humanly possible, and I want a game that just exploits that, I'd recommend Thief. But if you want a game with, I want to teleport over here and stab this guy, like rip his head off, and then just teleport over here and shoot this guy in the eyeball,
And then throw their head into disintegration field.
oh, of course,
Yeah.
that's required, man.
Yeah.
Then Dishonored.
Yeah. Summon rats. Oh my god, that's a horrible sound bit. That is a horrible sound bit.
Eating the dead
Yeah.
bodies. Oh my god.
Anyways, this was Thief and Dishonored.
Yeah, this was a.
Two people that would never see each other, but they have seen each other in this very enlightening conversation, which is funny to say enlightening because in most of the games you're being dark and stealthy and stuff, and I'm getting quieter as I'm going away.
Yeah. Listen to my movie.